This is a story of a man consumed by artistry and desire. Once again he was early. He tries to subdue the feeling of wrenching angst rising once more in his stomach. He does not want to appear fretful. The seconds pass by minutely. Around him couples, arms in arms, stroll to and fro. The air is wrought with love and summertime passion. He feels his gut twist. He had first met her 3 years earlier, under this very shell of surviving Beaux Art architecture. He remembered the blind optimism of that day, a faint lingering sentiment of hope and dreams now a numbness upon his psyche. Yet there was still desperation, his heart beating furiously, his body restless. And when she arrived, striking, enigmatic, and undecipherable, asking about his career as a writer, he could only shake his head and mutter lamely, something about his writer's block. "I'm sure that's not true," she assured him. "You are just in need of motivation." "Yes," he studies her, "that's what you provide, correct?" He had never met an enchantress before. "Indeed," she says. "And how much exactly?" He was hesitant. "It's quite a lucrative business," she answers. He was stumped by this. There was not much money left to his name. "I read your book," she tells him. "I enjoyed it tremendously." He thanks her lightly. "Which particular section did you enjoy?" "Love and desire. You wrote about it quite vividly," she responds. He smiles a bitter smile. "Yes, mission accomplished." He asks for the remedy. "It will be very expensive," she says. "I remember." He tells her that instruction has been left to transfer every remaining dollar he made from the book to her name. The antidote. He moves to drain its entire content. "Not here," she tells him. "Not here," he repeats. Empty. "What is it that you write?" she had asked him. "History," he replied. "Essays on the late antiquity, war, Holocaust, human misery and suffering," he thought to himself. But he wants to write something different now, something more uplifting. He wanted to write about love. She smiles. "Love is human misery, darling. Draw from life. It can't be so hard." He can't write about love because you've never fallen in love, she finishes for him. She understood without much more and pulls a vial from her person. Passionate and irreversible love, she presents it to him. The only side effect being inevitable and adverse heartbreak. He looks at her blankly, uncomprehensive. "Was that it? You must have studied Goethe." "Yes," he affirms, almost religiously. "Then you must realize there are things far more excruciating than mere shortage of inspiration." Heartbreak, he ponders and smiles. The sorrows of young Werther. He is delighted by this. A story about love would be incomplete without heartbreak. She is wistful at this. Perhaps he forgot how Werther ended. He moves to the park one last time, his steps light yet heavy at the same time. He takes in the people around him without really seeing their faces. He feels his burden slipping away. "How much will this cost me?" he asks. "Take it, it's free," she responds. He smiles. This is too good to be true. She tells him that it does not benefit her business to charge so steeply for love. Plus, it is always better when the clients return in the future, when they are able to afford the more expensive things. "Like a remedy," he says wisely. "Yes." He drains the vial, savoring the taste as it washes down his throat, sweet and bitter at the same time. He barely attempts to struggle as life leaves his body. Alas, the sorrows of young Werther.